So the other day I asked the question, why did you get off of dating apps? And I got so many responses, lots of women commenting. The theme is pretty much there. Let's listen to a few more of these responses. Kay Ivy's special message said, men breadcrumbing, endless conversations that never lead to a real life meeting. After a while, I realized it was because most of them were catfish. If you do meet, they end up just wanting nookie. They all thought that because you're on a dating app, you're desperate and can't find a date off the street. I swore off all dating for a while after that and focused on building myself up and be happy being single. I was mentally prepared to stay that way until I met my current longtime partner. OG says it was exhausting. I date any gender. And after hitting the end of the four queer people in my town, I'd regretfully include men in my search. Just across the board, it felt like low effort. And after being disappointed enough times, I also stopped putting in effort. Men were so obviously gamifying it and just swiping without reading profiles. Once I went on a date with a guy who told me he was using a script to randomly swipe on profiles, which really hurt my feelings. It honestly felt degrading being on an app, trying my best to be cute and interesting and being surrounded by empty profiles with pictures taken in a car from waist level. I got so frustrated, I started making a bingo card for bad behavior. B, basic. Wow, you got the off. I'm sorry, you like The Office and hate the ending of Game of Thrones? Groundbreaking. I, I personally hate you. That's petty complaints. N, no effort was put into this profile. G, gross. Oh, honey, you need therapy. Oh, I also forgot. I'm monogamous, but freaking everyone is ethical non-monogamous. I had a guy say this his profile, he on his profile he was single, but he was married and ethical non-monogamous and wanted me to drive 2 hours to see his goofy self. Oh wow. Kendra says, I left after not being able to find an honest friends with benefit that could communicate. I was coming out of a 20-year marriage and wasn't looking for anything serious, but I still wanted some safety while getting some needs met. I figured there had to be a unicorn out there somewhere, right? LOL. Nope. Liars, addicts, and trying to be cheaters. I say trying to be because they all sucked at lying, and anyone with any common sense would see right through their stories. I was told I had too many miles on me by a guy whose first message was, I want you. LOL. I laughed and asked him if that line worked for him often. There was nothing on my profile to lead him to believe that I was that type of woman. He said I was smooth brain and would never find what I was looking for because I was old. I was asked if I wanted to dominate and peg a guy before he even asked me what my name was. I was told that God wasn't satisfied with me and that I'd be alone forever because I didn't want to explore a relationship with a dude who lied every time he opened his mouth. I left the apps last year and can't see myself ever going back. I actually can't say I never met a decent man on there though. The bad ones outweigh the good though, and I got tired of filtering. Nah says, getting a message from a guy saying he hopes my house burns down with my child and I inside because I took too long to return his message was enough for me. Team Bear. Hashtag Grizzle Grizzle. Mordecai is sad said, I did it more for experiment and boredom. See what's going on Tinder, and if I meet interesting people, great. Firstly, hundreds of matches for no reason. No follow up, nothing. For most of them, just looking at them, I had no idea why they match with me. Completely different people, especially the gym bros. For a while, I thought they were trying to advertise as personal trainers or something. Most that did talk were just trying to get some and escalate ASAP. Boring, zero effort people. Talking to them feels like pulling teeth. I also made my profile with pics and texts that not only communicated some of my interests and hobbies, but give people conversation topics. Maybe a few of them did. Lots of weirdly arrogant people that have no idea how to hold a conversation or default to what I call Tinder job interview. Height, weight, job, phone, education. I met all of one decent man there in a few months. Now, to be fair, I think meeting decent men is difficult in general, and it stands to reason it would be even harder on dating apps. So, if anyone wants to go there, I'd say don't take it seriously. Look at it like something to do when you sit on the toilet or something, and just block and ghost and move on from anyone that wastes your time immediately. Take your time. The decent dudes won't mind talking to you or waiting before you meet, give number, etc., because they will understand how unsafe it is for women. Don't explain, move on. This is technically the only perk I can think of. You can meet people without physically being in their vicinity, though again, I find the whole thing incredibly boring. Miss Simke says, I've been on dating apps for a couple of weeks, deleted because they were useless. The men I interacted with were weird. One was shopping in a grocery store while having the first phone call with me. He wasn't even smart enough to not tell me about it. Clearly, he wasn't serious nor tried to impress me. The other one invited me to cuddle right away. No, thank you. I don't know if I want to talk to you yet, let alone cuddle. The third one right away texted me a long list of what he was looking for in a woman, like I'm supposed to go through it and proceed only if I met all of those requirements. Overall, none of them made an attempt to appear that they are even worthy of my time and that I'm important to them. Harry says, I would say that dating apps as a whole are romanticized breeding grounds for predatory men to target naive individuals. The problem comes from the anonymous nature of the whole ordeal. They are who they choose to present to you until proven otherwise. Main problems I've had: extremely bold demands, no greeting, just peen pick, first message, threats when rejecting advances. It is terrifying that most of these apps tell you how close they are. Insults after rejection, insults or fetishization, especially towards trans women. Too good to be true. Usually they are stalkers, unalivers, or worse. Overwhelming number of married men with kids. Maybe it works for some people, it's just not for me. It would be wise to remember Megan's Law doesn't apply to dating profiles. This person says, I don't need to coordinate ways to get disappointed. This person says, I got tired of, can you send more pics? Question. This person says, overall, the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. Although I was fortunate enough to meet decent men on there who were actually interested in taking me out on nice dates, a few resulting in relationships of various lengths. The frequency with I needed to swipe wasn't it. It always felt unnatural to me to be put on display, photos, and then curating a profile to garner the attention of men and the possibility of that effort. Fortunately, I never experienced that. Of a man feeling like my pictures were a misrepresentation was unsettling. And the last screenshot of this one, it felt like men were trying to order me from the app like food delivery instead of getting to know me as a human being. This person says, I left online dating over 10 years ago because the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Most of these men on the apps aren't serious. Half of them are married, and the other half just want cheap and easy nookie. I wasn't looking for all the games and the drama. The good ones are few and far between. You've got to roll the dice to catch a good one, assuming he feels the same about you. And then melanated beauty. Ugly men having the audacity say they are just looking for hookups. I had enough. LOL. Dating apps have allowed men that would never have gotten access to women in real life to get too comfortable. And with that, I close it out. Have you been on dating apps? Why did you get off? Jump in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Like, comment, and share.